y'all. This be your girl, Miss EYG in the building. And welcome back to my channel. Welcome back to my channel. Welcome back to my channel. Welcome back, welcome back. Welcome back, y'all. And before I go any further, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. If you are new here, subscribe. You're going to love the vibe, subscribe. You're going to love the vibe, subscribe. You're going to love the vibe. You're going to love the vibe. Okay. So, thank you to all my regular viewers that are tuning back in with your girl. Okay, and I'm going to say it again. If you are new here, please like, comment, and make sure you subscribe. Hit that notification bell so you can be alerted when your girl is dropping the gems, dropping the content, dropping the music, dropping all the goodies. You want to be alerted, okay? You want to know. You want to know. So, as you guys see in the title below, thumbnail, whatever, today is a little bit of a serious video. So it's a little bit on the serious side. It's of getting to know me, and yeah, it's a getting to know me video, and it's story time. And recent events happened to where I was forced to deal with things in my personal life that I thought I was healed from. And, you know, I was reminded that I need to do some more healing and some more soul searching on this topic. And I felt it very necessary to say, okay, well, even if I'm healed, what have I done to help others that may have gone through the same situation? What have I done to help those to see that, hey, if you're going through this, you are not alone? You know, what if somebody else is feeling the way I feel, even still in my adulthood and things like that? So this is kind of like getting a little bit more personal, but it's me speaking my truth, and it's not to bash anyone, but it's me speaking my truth, and I want to help other women who have gone through the same thing to realize you're not alone and nothing is your fault, and you're stronger than this. You can overcome it. I'm still going through the ranks of overcoming. I have overcame it, but I felt it very, very necessary to make this video. I just want to help people. You know, it's a lot of things with this topic that gets swept under the rug, and I don't want to play that game anymore. So I didn't just make this video for myself. I made it for anyone who wants to listen, you know, that you're not alone in this topic, and it's still healing to do even in adulthood. Okay, so I felt it very necessary to make this video because, like I said, I haven't gave this part out of me, you know, gave this part of me. I always kept it in the inside, but I'm gonna try my hardest not to get so emotional because it is a touchy subject, but it's my truth and I have the right to speak it on my platform. Okay, so before we get into it, y'all, let's like, comment, and subscribe. If you haven't, subscribe right now, y'all. Hit that bell. You pressed it? Okay, so we're gonna dive right. As you see, guys, the description below is my story time about my abstinent father, and I felt the need to make this video now because something, like I said, recently had happened, and I thought I was over it, and I didn't realize it until I saw how it still affected me, that I was not that over it. So again, I'm not just making this video for myself, but I'm making it for other women or men, you know, my kings and my queens, to let you guys know that we all are in the same boat. Okay, so my story time is about my abstinent father. I grew up, I'm not going to say he was completely out of my life. I'll just say for the most important times in my life, he was not there. I could probably count on one hand of memories of me going to his house, him buying me things, just spending quality time. I can count on one hand. Maybe I can count, maybe it's a few more, but it's no more than this here. Okay. You know, does the typical, I remember, you know, he bought shoes, he bought Christmas presents a few times, and took myself, I'm okay, let me start there. I'm the oldest of 6 kids. Okay. And I was always the outcast. For one, I'm the only one that doesn't look like him. I look completely like my mom. The rest of my siblings, they have his entire face. They have his gap, because he has a gap. They have his height. I'm the only one that's always been on the opposite side, to where I'm short. I look exactly like my mom. As you see, I don't have a gap. And I'm very thankful that I look like my mom. Not to say that my dad was unattractive, but I just couldn't see myself with a gap. I'd rather have my teeth like this than have a gap. Sorry, not sorry. I just don't see it for myself. But that's neither here nor there. So that's one part of where I've always felt excluded. I've always felt like the oddball. And before my other siblings came about, it was me and 2 my other sisters that are, one is 1 year younger than me, and the other one was 2 years younger than me. So it was us 3 at a point in time. And I always, again, felt excluded. They were more closer to each other than me. That's just how it was. I do remember me acting out with my dad because I was upset with him on, okay, you can buy me gym shoes, and you can buy me something to eat, and you can do this yearly thing of coming, buy me school. He always did it around the school time. Come get us, me and my 2 sisters at the time, before the other ones were born, and buy us school supplies, gym shoes, take us out to eat, and then send us on our way. And then we wouldn't hear from him. Well, I wouldn't. I can't speak for them. I'm going to speak for me. This is my experience. I wouldn't hear from him the rest of the year, including my birthday, Christmas, nothing. Only, this is a 1 year, and to me, that's not a father. I'm sorry, it's not. And I expressed that to him one day, even me being young, and he got mad at me, and I was like, all right, I want to go home. He was like, no, I'm not taking you home. You're going to go home when everyone else goes home. So I acted out. I cried. I screamed. And I remember I didn't want to be talked to. So I think that made it worse of why I was excluded, because my other sisters were looking at me like, yeah, Kiara's the problem child. You know, why is she acting like that? And for me, it was bigger than that. It's like, this is not all I want from you. I don't want just this material thing. I want you to be consistent in my life. And he wasn't getting it. So, fast forward. I'm going to try not to get emotional. This went on until I was about to be a freshman in high school. I was actually about to graduate 8th grade. And this is another incident in my life where I'm going to really try not to get emotional. So, I remember, like it was yesterday, I was graduating 8th grade, this was one of the times he come get us, you know, and all that. Around this time, he had another child, my little sister, and yeah, I believe I had at least one brother at the time that was born, but I'll get to that later. I remember I was in I was about to get ready and graduate 8th grade, and this was the last time this was the last straw for me of him doing the yearly annual pop-in. This was it for me, and I'll tell you why. So doing this pop-up, he did his, regular schmegular, buy us shoes, clothes, whatever, and he decides, I'm gonna take you to my mom's house. And I was like, I was looking like, she's alive? Like I didn't know, because I have never been around her. And mind you, I'm the firstborn, okay? I'm the firstborn daughter. You know how everyone knows your firstborn. Everyone in the world knows your firstborn, right? So we get to her house. We come in. And I'm thinking, she knows who I am. I just never been here. I just haven't met her. Since maybe I saw her when I was a baby. I don't remember her. But I'm excited. Like, I get to see my grandma, and it's been years. And I'm thinking she's going to welcome me with open arms and be like, oh, my granddaughter, I haven't seen you since you were a baby. Oh, my goodness. Not the case. Came in. Her exact words was, who is this? Who's this young lady? And it stumped me, and I'm like, she got to be kidding, right? She probably forgot. You know how old people, so it didn't register. So it didn't really hurt my feelings that much. But I'm like, oh, she probably just don't remember me because I haven't been around her. I can't remember being around her. Maybe she hasn't seen me since I was a baby. She had no clue who I was. And I'm the firstborn. And that's not even the worst part. The worst part was my sister that was born right after me. She's hugging her and kissing her, going through her refrigerator. I'm like, okay, this is her first time meeting me. She doesn't know me, but she knows her. My sister that was born after me, she knows her. It took everything in my soul to not cry in that moment. I'm trying not to cry right now because it's bringing up memories. And it hurted my spirit. It hurted me so bad. And I'm still a kid, even though I'm getting ready to go to high school. I'm like, you don't know me. I'm the firstborn, but you know her. And I told my dad how I felt. Oh, it's your mom's fault. He blamed my mom. And I got it, but at a certain extent, it's not, I wasn't going for it. You're not going to blame my mother for everything. If all those times that you came to pick me up and you were doing your yearly things, you could have brought me to your mom's house, but you choose now to bring me to your mom's house. And she could read my face because I've never been good with hiding how I feel. I just didn't cry until I got home. I cried my eyes out when I got home and I told my mom. But I guess she could feel and see my expression of hurt. So her feeling guilty, she gave me a gift card and gave me money as a graduation present. But to me, I know what it was. It was because she felt guilty because she could see the hurt that's on my face, that she didn't know who I was. And she felt bad. So time fast forward, my relationship with my dad got even more distant. His mother had passed away and I couldn't feel a thing because I didn't know her. Fast forward, I'm in high school. Still trying. My dad had ended up going to jail for a few years. I was writing him, telling him how much I wanted him to be in my life and I wanted our relationship to be better. That I didn't want to be a statistic. I didn't want to be like everyone else who girls grew up without their dad. I didn't want to be that. I actually wanted a relationship with him, and I'm telling him I want this. You know what I'm saying? I'm your daughter. I want us to get better. I want you in my life. I want to be different. I want to have a relationship with my father. He's writing me back saying yes, he wants the same, yada yada yada. And I'm asking him, when you get out, what do you plan to do? And how are we going to do this? How are we going to get our lives connected again? Fast forward, he ended up getting out of jail, went back to the same old. Our relationship didn't get better, it actually got worse. And I always feel like I was the one that was pressing for us to have a relationship. I say it all the time. I felt like I was chasing my dad. I feel like, and a child should never have to chase their parent or beg their parent for a relationship. And I yearned for it because I wanted so badly to not be how everyone else I know whose father was not there. I really, really wanted a relationship with my dad. And so by the time I got in high school and he found out I was dating, I didn't think I started dating my husband at 16 years old. And he found out about it and was upset. But I'm like, you really don't have a right to be upset. If my mom's okay with it and she raised me, she's, you do pop-ups. My mom raised me. She's not even upset and mad. All she's saying is make sure I take care of myself and make sure I'm doing things, being smart about dating. There's nothing that you can get angry about. So that's one. And after, so yeah, he came to my 8th grade graduation. He didn't come to my high school graduation, but he was at my sister's. And then after high school, I tried again. Okay, before I get to that part. Well, no, I could start there. I tried again to have a father-daughter relationship with him. And in the midst, I got upset. And I kind of said, forget it for a second, because I kept feeling like I was fighting for him and he wasn't fighting for me. And before I get to this instant, well, no, I could say it. I got to a point to where I was trying to live my life with my significant other, my fiance now. We were engaged. And we're trying to get our feet above water. So we ran into hard times. Of course, since I'm trying to pursue this relationship, I can no longer live in my mother's house because she had this thing where she didn't want, rightfully so. I didn't feel comfortable trying to be in a relationship and pursue a relationship, and then I'm still living with my mom, and my mom is not only, I'm under her roof, it's my fiance, and it was just like, it's not an ideal situation. Well, at least for me, it wasn't. So me and my fiance, trying to get things together, and I ran into hard times, and I reached out for his help. And his first instinct was, well, why do you have to call me for money? And I'm like, well, you set the stage for this, because anytime I tell you I want to spend some personal time with you, you're not there. Any moment that's important in my life, you're not there. So you set the stage for whenever you came around, you're buying me something to eat. You're buying me school supplies. You're buying me, gifts. So you set the stage for, that's all I get from you is materials. So what else am I supposed to do? If I need something, which I did at the time, I'm asking you for, because that's all that you seem to provide. You don't provide anything else other than material things, so why not? You set this stage. I didn't ask for this. You decided to set the stage for me. And we got into an argument, and he was like, well, you're older now. I never forget his words. He said, you're older now. You have to figure out life on your own, and I'm going to focus on your brothers and sisters that are younger than you. And I looked and I was like, well, that's kind of a cop-out, because when I was their age, you still wasn't focusing on me. So now that they're my age, and now, you know, besides my two sisters that were behind me, I had another little sister, and I have two brothers. So he's speaking on them. He's going to be there for them. And I'm like, well, you're copping out, so you're not going to be there for me because you feel like I'm older. But okay. So that means that, to me, it felt like it was a cop-out. He just didn't want anything to do with me. So I ranted on social media. I was very, very upset. And one of my sisters, the one that was born right after me, she followed me on social media. I guess she's the daddy's girl. So she informed him that I was talking about him on social media, and that was my venting at the time. So that's how I knew to vent. He wasn't listening, so I put it on social media. All right, so, and then fast forward a few years after that. That was the end of that. I haven't spoken to him for 3 years after that. A few years later, I lost my grandmother, my mother's mother, which was my heart, my queen. She was the second parent. She helped my mom raise me, my sister too. And when I lost her, and he knew I lost her, I was like, okay, my dad's he's gonna be there for me. He's gonna ask me when is her funeral. He's gonna come. He knows how important my grandmother was to me. He knows that my grandmother took his role as my father, as the second parent. He's gonna be there for me. He didn't reach out to me. Well, he didn't, and he had my number. And I actually had to reach out to him. I called him, said, hey, my grandmother passed away. I need you. Basically telling him, this is my first time as an adult having such a traumatic loss, that someone I love dearly is no longer here. Someone who took care of me, someone who was here all my life. I'm not used to this type of pain. I need you. Nothing. Nothing. So he decided, I'm gonna send you condolences, and that's all I wanted to do. That's all he wanted to do. I asked him, could he come to the funeral? I can't do it. Okay. Can you be here for me? Can you come see me? I'm still, hi, Dad, I'm here. Still nothing. So, after that, I said, okay, I'm gonna be over it. I can't do it right now. So I focused on, I said, I'm gonna stop yearning for the relationship with my father, and I'm gonna focus on my relationship with my husband, my fiance. We were still engaged at the time. So years went by. I hadn't talked to him, and then my husband passed away. And again, I reached out to him and said, hey, my husband passed away. I loved him, and yada, yada, yada. And, Dad, could you be there for me? And again, I send you my condolences, but he didn't want to be there for me. And I'm like, this is my husband. Like, I actually had to watch my husband leave this earth. I'm sorry, I don't like crying, but this situation is very emotional for me. I said, okay, my dad's gonna be there for me. That's my husband. It's not just somebody that died. This is somebody that died in my arms. This is somebody that taught me what my dad couldn't teach me, which is the essence of unconditional love, somebody who actually fought to be in my life, a man that actually fought for my heart. And my dad didn't do that. My dad didn't fight for my heart. So, again, he wasn't there for me. He didn't come see me. He didn't try to say, hey, where are you? I want to come see you. I want to make sure you're okay. And he didn't say anything. He just went on with his life. Like, okay. So, a little bit after I started my healing journey after my husband passed away, you know, after my grieving process. Well, I grieve every day, but after the mourning, the really, really hard part of accepting that he was gone, I started my healing journey. And I started my healing journey. And my healing journey was that part of it was having conversations or writing letters. You know, I was really heavily journaling at this time. I was learning how to journal and get my feelings out on paper. And a part of it was writing letters to every person that hurt me. And of course, my dad was one of them. And writing letters of forgiveness and telling them how I feel. And I said, you know what? I can do one better. He has to know this. Before he leaves this earth, he has to know how bad he hurt me and how much he affected me. I had not had a conversation with my dad like that ever. So I was very scared because his actions told me that he didn't love me, even though his words told me he did. So I called him up and I said, hey, we gotta have a conversation. For him, it was just a regular conversation. To me, it was a conversation of closure, so I can forgive him for every single thing that he's done to me that hurt me, the disappointment, the looking over me, the neglect for me, you know, the neglecting me for his other children, all that. I had to forgive him, and I had to do it for me, not for him, for me, so I can move on, so I can be not bitter and mad and taking it out on anybody else. Which I found out later that I probably was doing with my husband throughout our marriage. So I want to make sure that going forward, I wouldn't do it again in my next marriage or relationship or whatever. So I had a conversation with him. I told him how I felt. I poured it all out on him. I said, you were the first man to break my heart. You set the stage of everything that I've endured in my life. When it comes to men or trust, you're the reason I don't trust people. You're the reason why I'm scared to be in love. You're the reason, because you disappointed me, and you're the reason why, you know, you set the stage. Everything started with you. You were the first man in my life, and so you were the first disappointment. You were the first heartbreak. You were the first everything. And I'm taking it out on people that didn't do it to me because I'm holding on to it because of you. And he understood. And it got me to understanding him a little bit better when he told me that his father had did him the same. I had no idea. None. I told you I never had this conversation with my dad. Ever. And I said, so you chose to do your children. Well, not your children. Well, yes, his children. Because, you know, my other brothers and sisters, they claim they don't have a good relationship either, but they can speak their truth. This is me speaking mine. You chose to do this to me. Instead of breaking the cycle, you chose to treat me the same way that you got treated. How did you feel when your father disappointed you? How did you feel? You didn't break the cycle. You continued it. So, like, I understand now. You gave the same exact love that you were used to. You couldn't give me unconditional love because nobody gave it to you. You couldn't show me that daddy always gonna be there because your dad wasn't there for you. So it doesn't excuse you, and I'm telling him this doesn't excuse you for hurting me the way that you did, but I understand it a lot more. And I forgive you and I love you. But after this conversation, at this point, I'm no longer yearning for a relationship with you. This is a closed chapter. If it happens, it happens. I'm gonna let it happen naturally. If it doesn't, it doesn't. I'll let it happen naturally. And that conversation obviously woke him up and had him feeling some type of way, because immediately after I hung up from him, he put on Facebook, I want all my kids to call me right now. So I set the stage for something. He heard me in a way that he hasn't heard me, to make him want to call his other kids. I don't know what those conversations were, because I don't know everyone else's experience of him. I just know what's true, what's mine. Maybe they have the same exact story, maybe not. I know my sister that's born after me, I know she definitely doesn't have the same story as me. She's daddy's girl. But that's something I had to digest that as well. So fast forward, this is the most recent thing. So after that was years ago, about 5 years ago, 4 or 5 years ago, this conversation I had with my dad. And I thought, all right, I've been on a healing journey ever since. I thought I was healed. I'm okay. I let it go. That was the past. That conversation was the end of that daddy chapter that I have so desperately worked hard for. It's over. Until a few weeks ago. Changed it all around for me. One of my little brothers, the little brother that my little brother that is named after my dad, his first son, got killed a few weeks ago. He was murdered. And I felt bad because I couldn't feel bad, because the disconnection that I had with my father made me to have a disconnection with my other siblings. And he used to tell us that he wanted all of his kids to be close. And I always said, how the hell are we going to be close with each other when we're not even close with you? I never felt. But come to find out, all my other siblings was close. It was always me that was on the outside. And I figured that out too. They were okay. Well, I'm going to save that part until the last. But so my little brother got killed. And they all met up. They all went to his funeral. Mind you, my little brother got killed a couple days or a week before my birthday. I saw it on my social media I followed 2 of my sisters. Even though I don't speak to them, we follow each other. Just 2 of them. I don't know where the other ones are. I don't know how to connect them. So I just left it at that. And then my birthday came. My mom posted me. And she tagged me in it. My mom and my dad are friends on social media. After that conversation with my father a few years ago, I blocked him. But then I unblocked him once I knew and felt that I didn't, I didn't want to be bitter. So him and my mom are still friends on Facebook. My mom posted me like she always do. He commented under the picture, "Happy birthday, baby girl." Mind you, I'm tagged. He could have hit my name, send me a message. He didn't do it. He could have inboxed my mom like he used to do years prior. Tell my daughter to call me. This is my number. Give my daughter my number. Where's my daughter? Can you tell her to reach out to me? He didn't do it. And I was right there. You can comment under the picture, happy birthday, but you didn't comment and say, I want to see you, or I got plans to meet up with all your other siblings. Call me. So the day of my brother's funeral came, same day as I did my photo shoot. I would have postponed my photo shoot if my dad told me that he wanted to meet us. So I'm riding home from my photo shoot, and I just so happened to stroll on Facebook, and I'm sorry, it hurts my feelings. I'm sorry. I stroll on Facebook and I see a picture posted with my dad and 4 of his kids. Remember, he got 6. One of them just passed away, and I'm not present. So everyone else except me, and of course the one who's not alive now, but everyone who's living out of his kids were posted in that picture. And it's titled, My Dad and All His Kids. And I'm looking like, one's missing. What do you mean? And I didn't know until that moment that it still affected me. It still hurt me. And I wasn't as healed as I thought, because it still affected me. And I'm like, I thought I was healed. I thought I was over it. I thought it was a thing of the past. And then, like, what did I do so wrong that my dad doesn't want me in his life? Like, what did I do? Why am I being singled out? Like, I wanted a relationship with him, and you know how hard it is to come to terms with somebody not loving you the way that you want them to love you, and that person is your parent. Like, I was on my way home and I was in my Uber and I was crying in the back seat because I'm looking at this picture. This is years ago. This is present right now. And I'm seeing my dad, and he could have reached out to me. And I told my mom does not play about me. She's a mama bear that protects her cub. She sent him a message on Facebook saying, why didn't you reach out to your daughter? You got all your other kids in there, and she's missing. Why didn't you reach out to her? And his excuse was, I didn't have any information on her. I don't have her number. But you posted, when my mom posted me for my birthday, you could have easily messaged my mom and asked her for my information. You could have messaged me because I was tagged in the very post that you didn't want to. And I still don't understand why. Well, yes, I do. I understand why my father doesn't want to be involved in my life still to this day, because I was the daughter, I was the child that challenged him. His other kids are okay with mediocre. His other kids are okay with him popping in and out of their life as long as they can see their dad. I wanted more. I deserved more, and I challenged him to be a better father. And I'm the one who holds that mirror up in front of him and letting him know that the father that you are is not the type of father that I deserve and that you should be. So because I chose to stand up to you and I choose to challenge you, you rather not deal with me because you're okay with still being a shitty father. So you're gonna be that shitty father and put sugar on it to the kids that accept it, because they accept it. I told my mom, I wasn't going to, if I did see him, I was going to have a talk with him. You know, mourn with him about the loss of my little brother, of course. Be sympathetic, of course. But at the same time, speak my mind, because this is my experience of you. Before taking a picture and posting it on social media like my dad is the #1 great dad and I'm so happy that he's in my life, when you weren't, I wasn't going to fake that. Before plastering a picture, we were going to have a conversation. What's going to happen after this? Yeah, anybody can put up a picture on Facebook and like, okay, pretend to be, oh, my dad has always been my dad. He's always been in my life, when that's not the case. Even if my dad, and I knew what it was, my dad wanted that picture posted of his kids because he felt guilty. He felt guilty because my little brother is now 6 feet under because he wasn't an active father in his life. Of course, my little brother's decisions were always his decisions to make, but my father had a huge impact on that. Of him not being an active father to him led him to go down the wrong road to his life got ended shortly. And my dad is feeling guilty about that, so he wants his other kids to come together and throw sugar on top of shit and make him look good. Yeah, I got all my other kids. I messed up with that kid, but look, look, daddy got his kids. And I wasn't going to be the daughter to allow him to do that, which is probably not what, which is, I'm pretty sure is the reason why I wasn't invited. And not only my dad knew, you know, he could have asked my sisters, both of my sisters. One of my sisters, her mom, she always keep in contact with me. He could have asked her for my information. He could have asked my sisters for my information. Mind you, we follow each other. So me not being there because you didn't have my information was bullshit. I realized that he didn't want me to put that mirror up. I'm not saying I'm problematic, but I'm saying is I know my worth, and him included. If I feel that you're gonna hand me shit, I'm gonna call you out on it. I'm gonna be respectable, of course, but I'm in that state now. I'm an adult. I was even in that state when I was a kid, when I told you guys I bashed out on him, or, you know, because I was like, what is this? I was in that state as a youngin'. It's even more crazier now that I'm an adult, because I'm like, I'm setting that boundary. That's what it is. My dad doesn't want me to set a boundary, and I did that. I'm going to always do that because I love me way more than I love you. And if you are giving me this and I'm hoping and deserving this, and you're here, I'm never going to do that. That goes from my father, that goes from my mother, that goes from my friends, that goes from anybody that's looking for a relationship with me. I know what I deserve, and I don't care who you are to me. I'm not gonna be comfortable with mediocre. So that was a long one. But the reason I wanted to make this video was, again, not to bash my father, but to merely express my, express how I feel and speak my truth. Hopefully this reaches someone else that has the same daddy issues of an absent father, and that gone through similar things to where you feel like your father ignored you, and you're not alone. We deserve better. And I can sleep great at night because I know I have grown into an amazing woman. An amazing woman. Inside and out, beautiful. amazing. I've grown into such an amazing, intelligent woman without him. The woman I am, he has nothing to do with that. Nothing. He can't say, I raised my daughter to be that. I taught my daughter. The only thing he taught me was there are going to be people that you love and are close to that are going to disappoint you. And you got to be okay enough to live through that disappointment. I've grown into a beautiful woman without him, which helped me to realize I really didn't need him in my life. And I'm okay with it. I didn't expect it to still hurt me when I saw it still being what it was. And for me, seeing how my father went about the whole funeral situation and my other siblings being invited lets me know that he's still the same old man. I've changed and I've evolved as a woman. He still has not grown or changed as a man. He's still a little boy. A little boy that's a father. That's a dad. That's a sperm donor, whatever you want to call it. I'm not bashing him, but this is my truth. And I felt it very important. So anybody else out there who had an absent father and you yearned for a relationship for them, you wanted a relationship with them for so long, don't feel bad when you get to that place of finally not giving a damn. After wanting and begging and pleading for a relationship for so long, I don't give a damn. Respectfully. I even told my mom, she doesn't push me to do it anymore. She used to say, that's still your dad. If anything happened to him, you're going to feel sad. No, if anything happened to him right now, I will not have any feelings because I will have the same relationship with him. He's not here. I never had it. So I wanted it. As I can't allow the little girl in me to still yearn for it, you know? I had to have a talk with the little girl in me and say, you are who you are without him. You grew to be so great. People love you. Everybody that comes into act with you are going to walk away with such an experience. Don't let your dad take that away from you. And I'm going to say that for anyone else who has an absent father. Maybe you have an absent mother. You are not your parents. I know it hurts, but you will get through it just like I did. I'm still working through it. We're going to be all right. We're going to be better than all right. Just allow yourself to be a greater person. Either two things can happen in our life. We let a certain situation bring out the worst in us, or we turn it around and turn that pain into power and strength and let it bring out the best of you. So that is it for the story time, y'all. Thank y'all for tuning in. Sorry that I cried a little bit. Still emotional for me. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. I love you guys. Be blessed.